Black teachers are not a fad. I repeat, Black teachers are not a fad. Black teachers have brought value to classrooms for generations. And as the Black Teacher Project likes to say, every student deserves a Black teacher. So if you're thinking about how to recruit more Black teachers for your school or district, this tea time is just for you.
It's tea time. Equity time. Let's get into it.
Hey there, good people. It's me, Jessica Anderson, Equity Strategist and Marketing Project Manager, here for Tea Time. As an equity time to tackle all things race equity for learning organizations. And this time around, we're talking about 5 truths you need to know when recruiting Black teachers. So grab a mug and let's get into it. Number 5, Black teachers have always mattered. Now class, it's time to open your history books to chapter 5, a brief history of Black teachers. In the late 1800s, during the Reconstruction era, African Americans in former slaveholding states played crucial roles in creating public schools for both Blacks and whites. African Americans used their power as voters and legislators to create the frameworks of public education during the late 1860s and 1870s. And at the turn of the century, Black educators showed up in great numbers to support organizations like the National Association for Colored Women, the NAACP, the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History, and the National Urban League. Throughout the Great Migration, Black educators leveraged their positions to create opportunities for Black youth in major cities like Detroit, Harlem, and my hometown, Chicago. And for Black educators in the South, there are documented journeys of Black women educators who migrated north to obtain their advanced academic degrees to then return to their communities in the South to educate Black children there. Sounds like to me, there's a trend here. Black teachers are community leaders, agents of change, social provocateurs. They invest in their communities and seek to improve and uplift their communities, and the nation benefits. If your hope is to recruit Black teachers today, the real question is, what's your plan to invest in and support the Black community within your school or district? Commit to creating an environment where Black communities can thrive. That'll help Black teachers see that they can bring their fullest selves to the work in your school. Number 4, the shortage did not start yesterday. There has been a shortage of Black teachers for decades, almost 7 decades to be exact. In 1954, there were 82,000 Black teachers in America. That same year, the landmark Supreme Court ruling, Brown v. Board, changed the course of history in more ways than one. Brown v. Board sparked school integration, but it came at a high price. The cost? Black teachers. Following that ruling, more than 38,000 Black teachers and administrators lost their jobs. And the following decade only continued in the same downward trend. A generation of Black teachers and staff were pushed out of education when their expertise was sorely needed. And so now, decades later, the percentage of Black teachers remains low, staying around 7% today. The work of diversifying your teaching staff is bigger than your district. It's a historic battleground. And if you plan to get on the field to fight with us, know that you're going to need some fellow comrades in arms. Which leads me to number 3. There are organizations and communities already doing this work. The Black Teacher Project, Black Educators Initiative, Black Greek Letter Organizations, and the National Alliance of Black School Educators are just some of the many organizations supporting the recruitment, retention, and advancement of Black teachers. So before you reinvent the wheel or get overwhelmed with the size of this challenge, think about building meaningful relationships and getting involved with these organizations. Speaking of meaningful relationships, number 2, HBCUs won't save you. Say it again for the people in the back. HBCUs won't save you. You need an offer. Oftentimes, recruiters look to HBCUs to help diversify their applicant pool. But here's the thing. If you plan to march on up to the nearest HBCU, what do you have to offer? You're going to ask a Black professional who was educated in a vibrant community of other Black peers to now be a part of your district, where they might be socially isolated, underpaid, undervalued, unsupported, or left without a pathway to leadership or advancement in their career. Black teachers have a lot to offer you, but what are you offering them? Before you go knocking on doors, asking the nearest Black community or institution to support you, make sure you've done the work of making your school or district a safe and thriving environment for Black educators. Number 1, hiring them is only one part of the challenge. Retaining them is just as important. Is your school a hostile place for Black teachers to be? Do you have a clear, transparent, and unbiased process for evaluation, raise, and promotion? Do you offer spaces for Black teachers to get targeted and tailored support? Do Black teachers have a community of Black peers that they can go to for mentorship, guidance, or assistance? Or are they the only one? Is your one Black teacher the de facto disciplinarian? Do you offer ongoing school-wide learning about diversity, equity, and inclusion? Do non-Black teachers and staff have the cultural competency to effectively engage and support Black teachers that you hire? Do you invite Black teachers to the table for committees, leadership opportunities, or decision-making moments in your school or district? If you only think about how to get Black teachers through the door and never think about what's waiting for them on the other side, you're setting them up to leave. Retention is just as important as recruitment. I'm co-leading a webinar with my colleagues Crystal Shue and Kimberly Stewart on ways you can improve your hiring process for teachers of color. Join the webinar or watch it on demand after it comes out. Click the link in the caption to check it out. If you want to hear stories about Black educators doing incredible work, be on the lookout for Tribe Stories. Starting in January 2021, we'll be sharing stories each month about Black educators and leaders who are using innovative approaches to addressing educational inequity. So hit the subscribe button to know when they come out. This episode's Teabag mantra is, pouring into others does not mean that you must end up empty. Let that one steep for a bit. Catch you on the flip side for the next tea time. Peace.